to In the Know. I am your host, Cassie. My co host, Kim, is still recovering, but she is doing well. I hope that she's going to return soon. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on WJZZ Cool TV. You can view us on Fridays at 6 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and other top social media networks. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Again, thanks for watching WJZZ Cool TV In the Know. Coolest station in the world, too. Today we are joined by Mr. Lawrence Neely. Lawrence Neely is the CEO of 3D Credit Consultants. Okay? 3D Credit Consultants. Thank you for joining us. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about 3D. Tell us what you do.
Absolutely. First, Cassie, thank you for having me.
Aww.
Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. I've been CEO of 3D Credit since 2017.
Okay.
When we opened our doors.
Yep.
Our goal was to change the narrative, put the buying power back into our community, into the young people, so they can be able to get whatever they need.
Absolutely.
And credit is very, very important.
Absolutely.
When I started off, it was probably about 5 years prior, and I was in the process of wanting to buy a home.
Okay.
They pulled my credit score and was like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What do I need to do? How do I fix it? From that point, I just took a nosedive in on all things credit, trying to figure out what is this credit thing about? How do I get to a place where I can get whatever I want?
Exactly.
So I started researching, started learning. Then I actually subscribed to a class to learn about credit repair.
Okay.
So after doing a lot of diving myself, figuring out what I needed to do to get my score up, I started helping family members.
Oh, wow.
Started helping family members, giving them tips, things that I had picked up along the way.
And
then I left it alone. I was talking to my brother who currently lives in Florida. Ball Hard Nation, look him up.
Okay.
But I started helping him, and I increased his score by about 90 points in
Wow.
about 45 days.
Really?
Yeah. So he was like, bro, have you ever thought about doing this for a living? Like, you're really, really good. I'm like, not really, but, it was a thought. A few months later, my birthday came up. He found another credit repair school, paid for it as a birthday gift for me because he believed that much in what I was doing.
Wow.
And so that birthed 3D Credit.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me, well, 3D Credit, what is that about? I said, people ask, was it a 3D look at credit? Or I said, actually, no. The 3Ds represent my three sons, Darian, Dimitri, and Dalen. So it represented that because I wanted to build a legacy for them, teach them about credit, and then give them something that they can further as they get older.
Absolutely.
So as a company, what we do is we look at a holistic view of your credit, from your score to your trade lines to negative items. Most people need to understand that 80% of credit reports have inaccurate information.
Okay.
That's holding your score down. So what we do is we review, look at your credit score, look at what's on your credit report, and then we start picking it apart to make sure that your score can grow.
Okay.
So, I mean, we look at everything from how you spend to inquiries to how many credit cards you have. To what your balance is. So we do it all to make sure that when you leave our program, you can walk in and get a mortgage. You can get a car from an A-lot. Since we've grown so much, we have partnerships with mortgage companies.
Oh,
we have partnerships with lots where you can get brand new cars. You don't have to get a 40% interest rate. We'll plug you right into these partnerships and keep you growing. So that's kind of what we've been doing for the last 4 years.
Cool. I just want to say one thing. I hope you don't get mad at me for saying this. But I am so proud of this young man. I have actually known him. He said he wasn't 5, but I say he was 5. I've been knowing him since he was 5 or somewhere around there, and I haven't seen him in about 30 some odd years. So I'm just like really excited today because I haven't seen him in all those years. Yep. We actually used to be in a youth choir together at Monumental Faith Church, and I am really excited to have you here today. I haven't seen a lot of the people. I stayed in touch with a couple people, but I'm just really excited to have you here today.
I'm glad to be here. I appreciate it.
Yes. So when would you recommend a person seek a credit consultant?
So the first thing that I would say is you have to be advantageous about your own credit. So I always recommend looking at your credit report, twice a year, multiple times a year, so that you can actually see if there's something that looks wrong.
Okay.
I utilize, for lay people, I utilize Credit Karma.
Okay.
It's really, really a good tool to be able to at least see kind of where your score is. Now, keep in mind, when you go to Credit Karma, it is a third-party credit provider. So
okay.
It's not your actual score. It can vary 10 or 15 points, but what it does is it lists all the accounts that are currently on your credit report, and you can kind of start looking like, well, wait a minute, I never applied for a TJ Maxx card. Why is this on my credit report? So when that comes into play, once you start looking at, okay, I see items that I don't recognize, or I'd like to see my score grow a little bit, definitely reach out to a 3D credit.
Okay, 3D.
Because the great part about it is we'll do a free credit analysis. There's no charge for that. We'll take a look at your credit report, break it down, give you some suggestions. If you decide that you don't want to work with us, that's absolutely fine. We'll give you some tips and some tools. We would love to bring you a part of the family and allow us to get you where you want to be. But definitely, you have to be on top of what's on your credit report. And I would say no less than twice a year, take a look at it.
Okay, absolutely. Yep. And where can we find you at?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The tag is 3D Credit. So you do that, I'll pop up. You can go to our website, www.3dcreditconsultants.com. You can find all type of information there. You can contact us there. We love to talk to any and everybody about getting where you want to be.
Cool. So I know there's a lot of different areas when it comes to credit. Mm-hmm. There's like the bankruptcy, there's the charge off, different stuff. So do you work with all the areas of negative credit?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we look at bankruptcies, garnishments, liens, collections, medical bills, student loans. We look at all of those items and find out a way where we can strengthen your score.
Okay.
One of the things that a lot of people don't recognize is that with liens, bankruptcies, those items don't actually report to the credit bureau.
Liens and bankruptcies don't.
Correct. Those entities do not report directly to the credit bureau.
Okay.
So anytime you see those items on your credit report, this is just a tip. Anytime you see those on your credit report, they didn't get that from bankruptcy court. They didn't get that from lien. They got it from another third-party reporting entity.
Wow.
So what that means is if your credit report says that a bankruptcy came from 36th District Court and they reported it, that's inaccurate because court does not report to the credit bureau. So you should contact us because we could look at a lot of those items and possibly get those removed.
Got you.
Bankruptcies can give you 75 to 200 points on your score. So,
really?
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Those liens or evictions that are showing up on your credit report.
What about a charge-off? Does that mean that you're no longer responsible? Tell me what a charge-off is.
So a charge-off is basically you had an account with, let's say, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. And you didn't pay it. Mm-hmm. So they tried to collect from you on that charge-off.
Okay.
They couldn't reach you. You all didn't come up with any type of arrangement. So they charge it off as bad debt. What that means is they're no longer going to actively collect upon it.
Okay.
So then what they'll do is sell it to a third-party collection agency and allow that collection agency to actively collect on it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me ask you this. So I had a situation. They said, well, you owe us X amount of dollars. And I was like, okay, whatever. So what do I need to pay? What do I need to pay y'all? Okay, whatever. So I paid them, but it still lists as a charge-off. So is that still saying that it's listed as bad credit even though you made an arrangement with them?
So that charge off is showed as satisfied, but it's still reflecting on your credit report.
Okay.
That's another good reason to call it 3D credit because we have tips and tools that we can get those deleted as if they were never there.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We've had a lot of success with getting deletions. Even sometimes you may not even necessarily have to pay it.
Okay.
Just keep in mind, there are some collection agencies that are not even licensed to collect in certain states.
Got you.
So what will happen is when Miss Cassie calls in and say, hey, I got this letter. Yeah, I know I owe it. You just gave them authorization to collect in your state.
Oh.
That's why a lot of times they're actively calling, just trying to get you on the phone so you can say.
To agree to something.
Trigger words. Guess what? Now we got 7 more years to actively collect on this. When in some cases, they could have been about to reach their statute of limitation where they couldn't collect at all.
Wow.
But they got you on the phone. They got you to respond. So and I'm not knocking their collection tactic because it's legal.
I was going to ask, is it legal?
It's legal as long as they get you to agree that, oh yeah, I did have this account with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And notice they'll offer you 60, 70, 80% discount.
That's what they did to me.
Of course, because they bought it for $100, and if they collect $1,000, they have a lot of profit. But we have success in making sure that our clients keep that money in their pocket, you know, when it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some debts that we do have to pay, and we have to make arrangements on, that sort of thing. But we try to make sure that we make moves that will impact your score.
Wonderful. I wish I had called you a couple months ago. But anywho, I'm going to take a quick station ID. You are watching In the Know Live on WJZZ Cool TV. You can watch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and other top social media networks. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Once again, thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV In the Know. We are here with Lawrence Neely of, am I saying Neely or Neely right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Neely. Okay. From 3D Credit Consultants, and the 3D stand for
Darian, Dalen, and Dimitri.
His three sons. He is here today telling us about how how to fix our credit, how to get information, how to consult with him, and you know, up your score. So if you guys want to call in, please do. The number is 313-355-6018. Again, that number is 313-355-6018. Call and speak with Lawrence Neely from 3D Credit Consultants about your credit. He's available to give us some good information, okay? I have a question about these medical bills.
Okay.
Everybody got the medical bills because insurance, I'm an insurance agent. You always got that copay. You always got that deductible. Is an unpaid medical or hospital bill the same as the Macy's card?
It can be.
Okay.
It can be. So basically, with medical bills, a lot of times they use an internal billing system.
Okay.
Where they'll bill you from their internal company. If you don't pay it, then they'll ultimately attach it to your credit report.
Okay.
That's the same as the charge-off that we were talking about. When they decide that they're not going to actively pursue it or actively collect upon it, they'll charge it off and let somebody else collect upon it. So it typically has the same weight on your credit report, except the fact that when you're starting to look at a mortgage, that sort of thing, medical bills don't weigh as heavily on that because they kind of, society knows that, hey, we have co-pays, we have this, we have that. As a former underwriter, you know, we excluded medical bills. When we looked at your credit report, we excluded them for the purpose of buying a home. So.
Oh, wow.
So
you were a mortgage underwriter?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I was a senior mortgage underwriter as well as an underwriter too. So.
Okay.
I dealt with the income and occupancy for, you know, people getting homes, and then I also made sure that I informed them on what conditions we could clear to get them approved. So
okay, you know. So you had a little history coming into it, kind of, sort of.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
I'll also say that even prior to that, I actually worked for a collection agency. I worked for a collection agency for a year. You know,
okay.
And part of that was to build my brand so that I knew the inside workings of how the collection agency worked.
Oh, good idea.
So that I could be able to be more beneficial to my clients.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you see any particular activity or area that seems to affect the credit more so? You know.
Absolutely. There's two areas that really, really can bring down your score or increase it. That's on-time payment history and credit utilization.
Okay.
What is on-time payment history? That's your ability to pay your bill prior to it being 31 days delinquent on each of your accounts. So, for example, I make my car note. My car payment is due on the first of the month. I don't allow that payment to get behind 31 plus days. Once you hit the 31 plus days mark, you can lose 40, 50 points.
What?
Just like that. Absolutely. And those late payments are very, very difficult to get removed because typically if you're late, you're late. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to dispute, you know, that you're late.
That you was late, yeah.
Correct. The other area is credit card utilization.
Okay.
That just simply means you have a $1,000 credit line and you're using $800. So you're at 80% of your utilization.
Yeah.
Industry standard says 30% is where you kind of want to live throughout my experience. If you get it down to between 11 and 15%, that's when you see your strongest credit jumps.
Really?
I've seen people go up 45, 50 points just by keeping their credit card utilization down to 12-13%.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
It's definitely a balancing act. It's just the way you manage things is what keeps your credit strong.
Okay. Gotcha. So you talked about the credit utilization rate. Mm-hmm. Tell us some of the other things that might impact your credit negatively.
Yep. So the other thing is derogatory items. So those charge-offs you were talking about, mm-hmm. bankruptcies, liens. Those negative items can also cost you a lot of points.
Okay.
Because what it does, it flags potential creditors to say, well, wait a minute, they didn't pay these bills and now it's been charged off. Uh-huh. Do we really want to trust them with another line of credit?
Exactly.
So that's why keeping your negative items or collection items off of your report is huge.
Okay.
It's huge. So you think about on-time payment here, that represents about 35% of your
wow.
score.
Okay.
Credit utilization, that's another 30%.
Mm-hmm.
Derogatory items, that can be 20%. So you talk about those 3 points, that's 70% of your overall score.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Inquiries are another thing that they don't weigh as heavily, about 5%.
Mm-hmm.
But when a creditor starts to see you applying for a credit,
you look desperate.
It starts to look like, there's some financial distress
uh-huh.
there. Why are they applying for all of this?
Yeah, you look kind of desperate.
Yeah, you don't want to apply for more than 2 things every 6 months. You want to allow some of those inquiries to fall off. There's a couple tips that we use to get inquiries off. I'm actually working with a client right now. We started off about 2 months ago. They had 27 inquiries. To date, they're down to 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we were able to do some things for them to get those inquiries off.
Okay.
And that boosted their score up some, too. So.
Okay, cool. Wow. This is all very interesting. Again, if you guys have some questions, please give us a call here at In the Know. The number is 313-355-6018. We are here with credit expert Lawrence Neely. And he's giving us some really, really good advice. Really good advice. Are there, I know you mentioned kind of laws that the creditors have or rules that they can go by. Mm-hmm. Is there anything in place for the consumer that protects us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the CFPB is the consumer.
And what is, okay.
Huh?
I was going to say, what is that?
It's a governing body that creates laws to protect the consumer.
Okay.
That doesn't allow for harassment. That doesn't allow for malpractice, for you to be predatory in how you collect. So that's something that's been in place for like the last 5 or 6 years, really, really heavily.
Okay.
Making sure banks aren't being predatory, making sure that they're not discriminating. So that's one of the hugest ones that's in place right now.
Gotcha.
And then you have credit laws. Like when I was going through my schooling about credit, there's so many credit laws as to, you have to acknowledge change of addresses as a creditor. So if I moved and I sent you a change of address and you sent the mail to a previous address, you're in default. You can't report that on my credit report because you didn't follow the necessary guidelines that you had.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot, and that's why I recommend that people reach out to myself as well as some of my other certified consultants to talk about these things.
You say certified?
Yes, everybody that you speak with 3D Credit will be a certified credit consultant.
Okay.
It's not, everybody, there's people who do credit and they do a good job.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to put in place is credence and have credibility. So I don't allow none of my associates to work on a file if they're not accredited.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
So
and where can we find you at again?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as my website, www.3dcreditconsultants.com.
Okay, cool. Okay. And I was going to ask, what do you mentioned Credit Karma earlier. Mm-hmm. I've had a couple different, some people say that's not accurate. It's kind of accurate, kind of, sort of, whatever. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that whole, as a means of keeping up with your credit and stuff like that? Experian credit. I think I got about 3 of them on my phone.
Experian.com.
Yes.
CreditWise, Credit Karma. I use Privacy Guard, Identity IQ.
Okay.
Because remember, what you're using this as is just a tool to make sure that the items that are reporting are accurate.
Okay.
The score may differ 10 to 15 points here or there, but it kind of puts you in a range of where you are.
So it's about the accuracy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because we can always get your actual credit report from the 3 major bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian.
Why is it 3 bureaus?
So people ask me that a lot. So, and why does the score fluctuate so much
Yeah.
from one to the other?
Exactly.
So keep in mind, every creditor does not report to every credit bureau.
Okay.
So Mickey Mouse Credit Company might only report to TransUnion, while Daffy Duck might report to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax.
Gotcha.
And then while Rainbow Bright might report to just Equifax, not Experian, and TransUnion. So now when they try to compile a score, it's not comparing apples to apples because all of them may have different creditors reporting to them. So that's why the score can differ in range.
Okay.
Typically, what I look at is the TransUnion score.
Okay.
That's one of the ones that pretty much everybody reports to.
TransUnion.
So TransUnion, if you have a solid score with TransUnion, the other two are probably higher than that.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. So, would you recommend, how would you, like, if you see discrepancies on your credit report, would you recommend a layperson just kind of go in there and click on some buttons, or how would you recommend a person go about doing that?
So, one of the avenues that a lot of the companies are using now is to being able to dispute directly from Credit Karma, directly from Experian.com, directly from Equifax or CreditWise.
Yeah.
One of the issues with that is they utilize a system called eOscar.
Okay.
eOscar basically associates letters and numbers with a particular person. So they may say, I'm disputing this because it's not mine, and they might find a Cassia, and they might find a Jacobs, a Detroit, and then they'll say, yep, well, that's yours, because they were able to find just different attributes.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The reason why I always recommend that if you're going to dispute something, do a physical letter.
Okay.
Certified mail it, because that means I know it's going to that office and somebody physically has to
You got a record.
Hand. Yep, and they have to physically put their hand on it and acknowledge my dispute.
Okay.
If they don't acknowledge it in certain time frames, they're in violation of the credit law. So then now they have to remove it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I always say, I mean, and there's times when you'll do those electronic disputes and it'll work. You're like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
It came off. But as a practice, I don't utilize those tools. I actually want to be able to show my client that, hey, here's what we think. Here's what we're disputing. Here's our time frame. Here's our tracking number. So now the clock is going because I know what time frame the credit bureau has to respond. I know when the creditor has to respond, and if they don't, they're in violation. So you need to remove this off my client's file, or there's other issues that you could face for being out of compliance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's cool. I got a question about this. Okay. I didn't write this down, but I know that there's like a different type of social security number that people are using for their credit. It's not the EIN, it's the I have to look it up. It's this new, it's new to me, but there's another number. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up really quick. But there's another number that people use for their social security number, okay? So if your credit report is actually not all that good, there's some other number that people are using, but that number is actually not a good number. It's you can use it, but it's not the best practice, I've been told. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm familiar with the FEIN that people use.
And what's the F? What did that stand for?
Federal Employee Identification
Nope. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm gonna look it up. I meant to write this down earlier. But yeah, there's a different like social security number that you can use. Yeah. And it's a more, if your credit is messed up, it comes out clean, and then you can actually buy. If it's too low, you can buy up on it. You heard of that?
Buying trade lines.
Something like that. Yeah. What's that about?
So, I don't know the ins and outs of how people are able to buy trade lines because I don't do it that way. Because if you buy a trade line that does not belong to you, and you ultimately get audited.
What's a trade line?
So a trade line is the actual account. So you have a MasterCard account number. You have a $5,000 balance. That on your credit report is considered a trade line. Okay. So any credit lines that you have are considered trade lines.
Okay.
So from what I understand, people are able to buy trade lines. People are adding stuff to people's credit.
Yes.
For whatever the cost factor. I don't do that. I don't even know how they do it. But I do know that if trade lines appear on your file and you're audited by the credit bureaus and it's found that those aren't yours, then that flag kind of stays with you throughout the life of your credit.
Okay, so the credit bureau can audit you. Okay.
If they determine that there's some type of suspicious activity.
Really?
Suspicious activity.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, because remember, there's always safeguards in, whatever you do. Businesses are going to put safeguards in place to make sure, just like we have the CFPB to protect consumers.
Yes.
They have protection as well to make sure that, things are in place and things are going according to protocol.
Wow. This is quite interesting. I'm going to take another quick station ID. You're watching In the Know live on Facebook, YouTube, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and other top social media networks. Please like, follow, and subscribe. Thank you again for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Again, we are here with Lawrence Neely. He is from 3D Credit Consultants. He's giving us some really, really good information on credit, how to improve our scores, what not to do about these trade line things, whatever they are, and just how to get our score up, how to get this credit situation together. And I know everybody have issues with credit or has had issues with credit at some point in their life, so this is a great topic. Please give us a call at 313-355-6018. Thank you so much. Okay, so with this process that you do with the credit repair, how long, I'm sure everybody's probably different, but with the process, once you start the process, tell us what the process is.
Absolutely. So any client that I engage with, the first thing that we do is we kind of talk about where you are. What are your end goals? Right now, are you in the process of, I want to buy a home, I want to get a new car, I just want to see my score stronger, I'm looking to save money. So I kind of get an understanding of like where you are and where you're trying to get to.
Okay.
Once we come up with that kind of strategy or have that conversation, what I'll do is recommend that you allow me to do a credit analysis. Let me look at your whole credit profile, see where you are, see what we got going on, and how I can help you meet whatever that goal is that you
So what does that consist of? If I'll let you look at my credit analysis. What does that consist of?
So it may be a situation I'll say, okay, Cassie, I need to see your Credit Karma account just to get an idea of what you have on your credit report. So we'll either do, COVID kind of made us take a step back because I like to do a lot of face-to-face interaction.
Okay.
So that you can ask me whatever question you want. I can show you what we're actually looking at. I love transparency. Anything that we do, anything we do, we make sure it's transparent. Our portal gives you access to whatever we're doing, whether something has been disputed, deleted, whether it's still in process, all the way down to billing information, all the way down to your ID documentation that we provided. So we want to make sure that everything is transparent.
Gotcha.
So once we're taking a look at your Credit Karma, I'll allow it, say, hey, give me 24 to 48 hours. One of my team members will reach out and we'll kind of look at, here's what I think we can do for you. Here's the time frame that I think we'll see some substantial growth in your credit profile.
Okay.
Now, one of the biggest things I tell all clients is that you have a very, very intricate role in your credit growth. So we're going to give you tips. We're going to give you homework, and then we're going to do checkpoints. Hey, where are you as it relates to getting this credit card balance down? Where are you as it relates to, catching up this particular bill? Because those are things that all impact your credit as well. So that free analysis is a start, and we give that to you in writing. We do a breakdown of everything that's on your credit report. Here are the things I think we need to improve, and then at that point, the ball's kind of in your court. Do you want to move forward and working with us? If you do, then at that point, we'll actually register you through our portal, order all three of your credit reports, and then the ball is in my court and my team's court.
Okay, gotcha. So, with the credit scores, it goes from 0 to what?
350 to 850.
350 to 850. So what would you consider what is the standard for a decent score?
So typically,
because I think my score is good.
Right. So I'm sure
I
it is.
think my score is good.
So remember, credit goes in tiers: A, B, C, D. And
really?
Then decline. Basically.
Okay. Oh wow.
And now there's an A plus that they're implementing, but A and A plus is really not much of a difference.
Okay.
So I mean, rates will vary, very little, but not much of a difference. So I would typically say everybody wants to try to get in the 700 club. 700 club. 700 club will get you A rates.
Okay.
Meaning I can sign my name and get what I want.
Gotcha.
Let me paraphrase that by saying that you can have a 750 score. Don't mean you can go get a $90,000 truck if you make, if you don't make the money to be able to support that.
Got you.
So it's twofold. You want to have the score, and then you want to also have the income to get the things that you want.
Okay, is that debt to income or something like that?
So debt to income ratio really is more towards the mortgage field.
Okay.
It's looked at when you're trying to get a car and those different things. So basically it says this is how much debt you have versus how much income that you have coming in.
Okay.
Now, if we add this payment, this truck payment, this house payment, is it going to totally destroy your DTI? Do you make enough money
debt to income.
Debt to
okay,
income. Now,
got you.
This new car payment, is this going to be unaffordable for you?
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean that now adding this car payment, you don't make enough money? So that's why you can have a score, and sometime a dealership will say, well, yeah, we can get you approved, but we might need to look at a car that's $25,000 as opposed to $50,000.
Gotcha.
And it's not because of your score. It could be because you just don't make enough
money. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, that's a very, very good point.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. So, with the process of credit repair, is it an expensive process, or is it something for everybody, or what?
Well, I definitely think it's for everybody, because here's the thing: if you're unwilling to invest in yourself,
I know that's right,
for the betterment of your future,
mm-hmm.
then you probably are not going to sign up for credit repair anyway.
Okay.
And what I tell people is credit repair is not as expensive as the rates that you'll get if you don't have a really extensive credit score.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell you that. I've had clients come to me, they have a 14-year-old car, and they have a 28.99% interest rate.
Oh.
So you're going to pay for this car 4 times by the time it's all said and
done.
For,
yeah.
Now, had you invested in credit repair before you got into this car,
mm-hmm.
now your rate is down. You're getting into a newer car at a lesser payment.
Yeah.
So credit repair is an investment, but it's not an investment that's going to break you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. I'm more concerned with the mortgage process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said you used to do the mortgage thing.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, when you go in for a mortgage,
okay.
And how is it calculated or determined who gets a mortgage for this, and is that what you just was talking about? Who gets a mortgage for this, or who gets a mortgage for this amount?
So
how's that determined?
So there's a couple variables when it comes to mortgage approvals. Obviously, your credit score and your income.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so with your credit score, you have to at least be 580 to even be in the conversation of a mortgage. And typically that's for a first-time home buyer. Their first home mortgage, you can be at a 580. They like to see 620, 640.
Okay.
But I've seen approvals at 580.
Wow.
Now the second piece of the puzzle is how much money do you make?
Mm-hmm.
How much house can you afford?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you don't want your DTI to be over 46%, 45%, somewhere in that area. So what that means is when I add up all of your bills, all your minimum payments on your credit card, your car payment, whatever you have on your credit report, when I add that up, then I'm going to take what you make, and then I'll divide them into each other.
Uh-huh.
And as long as it's under 45% and you have the score, then you can typically get approved. And then at that rate, they'll say, well, you can afford $150,000 worth of house.
Gotcha.
Or you can afford $300,000 worth of house. So that's how that determination is made.
Okay. Wow. That's something else.
And for all of the listeners, just know I do have a partnership with a mortgage company. So if you do walk through our program, we can get you guaranteed approval on your first home, your second home.
Do you want to mention the mortgage company?
Absolutely. Gold Star Mortgage.
Gold Star Mortgage. And where are they based out of?
Livonia.
Oh, cool. I'm going to have to call y'all.
Yeah. My loan loan officer, he's great. I mean, we work hand in hand, lockstep, to make sure our clients are getting approved and they're set up for success, that we're getting them into a good loan that makes sense and that's affordable, and they can have the dream home that they like. So,
gotcha.
Like I said, with 3D Credit, we're trying to build a society that's a one-stop shop. If you need a car, you need a mortgage, you need a personal loan. We have a partnership with a lending company.
Oh, wow.
So we're really, really just trying to build that for the community, for people, for us to have the buying power again.
Okay, got you. So you guys do credit repair, you work with mortgage companies, and you said personal loans. Is there anything else that you guys do? Cars, okay. Okay. Okay, and when you said A lot and a B lot, tell us what the difference is, because I've heard them, I've heard the differences, but tell us what's the difference if you go to A lot versus a B lot.
So typically an A lot would be your big players, the Fords, the Chryslers,
gotcha.
the GMs. Those are kind of like the A lots. You go in there and you're getting a new car or a new lease. B lots are typically where it's a used car lot where they're selling used vehicles. They do still offer financing, but typically leases are not associated with it because the cars are a little bit older. Also, in some cases, B lots rates are a little bit higher.
Okay.
It just depends,
Like you said, you're gonna sometimes end up paying for it a couple different times.
Correct, and that doesn't necessarily have to do with the lot. That's just your credit situation.
Gotcha.
So you can go to some where a lot may not approve you. They may say, hey, it's just too low, too much of a risk.
Yeah.
We're not going to approve you. But in some cases, you can go to a B lot and they'll get you approved. But at what percentage? You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Those are some of the higher risk loans that associate a higher interest rate.
So during this day and age, COVID, all this good stuff, I know a lot of the interest rates are kind of going down or whatever. What would you consider a good rate for a home purchase or a car purchase?
So actually right now the home buying rates are going up.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're going up. Because right now it really truly is a seller's market.
Okay.
Yeah, so people who have property that they can't sell, they're literally getting top dollar for it.
What?
I think the last time I checked, the rates are somewhere around 4%, 4.25.
Okay.
Where a couple years ago you could get a 2.5 or 3.1. So right now the rates are kind of going up for home buying.
Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you this. I hope this don't sound crazy, but okay. So you just said it was a seller's market. So people that own property, it's a good time for them to sell, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if they sell their property, then they got to find somewhere else to stay.
There's the flip side. So some people are, want to capitalize on the cash market.
Gotcha.
So, hey, last year my house was worth, as an example, let's say last year my house was worth $190,000. Right now the market is dictating that you can get $260,000.
Got you. So you want to bank, you want to take that cash,
so
get that bag up.
Here's the funny part. I have a client right now that sold their house like $290,000. They owed about $100,000. They're walking away with $190,000 and was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna lease a house for the next year, but I just made $190,000. So when the market goes back down, whenever that happens, I'm still sitting on $100 and something thousand. I can put $50,000 down, have a very, very low house payment, or build me one.
Wow.
But it's kind of like, what do you do in that buffer zone? What do
you
do in
yeah.
between? Some people are like, oh, I'm okay with leasing for 1 year, or I'm okay with going to stay with whoever for 1 year because I just secured $100,000.
Exactly, that makes sense.
Some people are like, well, yeah, I got this $100,000, but then now the next house I'm gonna buy is that much more.
Yeah.
And don't want to wait, so they're like, no, I'll just sit on what I have. It just depends on what you like and what's important to you. Is securing the money important right now?
That bag.
Or is having stability, staying in my house, and I'll wait for the market to go down and still maybe make a profit? It's just kind of like when you go to the casino and you hit that button. It could go either way.
Well, yeah. Got you. Wow. Okay, so with the credit repair, I'm gonna sign up. I'm gonna go for this. I'm gonna try to get this house and this, that, and the other. Are there any guarantees that my score will improve at all?
So what we do is we provide a money back guarantee. If you follow our tips and your score doesn't increase, we'll give you your monthly, whatever month you're in, we'll give you that money back, no questions asked.
Oh, wow.
That's how sure my
You
consultants are.
Oh, good.
On what we do. Now, there is typically a sign-up fee. That's not refundable. But your monthly subscription.
Gotcha.
So let's say you're with us January, February, March comes up. And you make your payment. You're like, well, my score hasn't gone up in 90 days, and I just want to cancel. We're going to give you your March payment back. No questions asked.
Okay. How long does just in general, how long does the average client stay with you? How long?
So every situation is different.
Yeah.
So when I say that, typically I say within 90 days, you'll see some sort of significant increase in your score.
Okay.
Keep in mind, when we start disputing items on your credit report, we have to give the Bureau at least 30 days to respond.
Okay.
So, that within that buffer time, we're still doing other tactics to get your score up, like getting you in contact with other creditors that you might want to add this account to strengthen your score. I tell people all the time, like, it took you 10 years to destroy your credit.
Mess it up, yes.
But, you want me to fix it in 30 days. I'm like, it's a process that we'll both work together on getting your score up. So, typically I would say 90 days. I've never had a client that was with me longer than a year.
Okay. For the younger people out there, just starting off on their credit journeys, what kind of advice would you give them?
My plea is to the 18 to 25, 26. For me, growing up, nobody told me anything about credit.
Okay.
There's not a class in school, high school, that I've ever heard of that talk about credit. I don't even hear about classes like that in college, strictly credit. Now, you get finance classes that handle it, but for most of us, we were never taught how to have an acceptable credit score.
That's true.
All we know is at 18, we start getting all these credit card offers, especially you go off to college.
Yeah.
They giving you these cards.
You can't afford it.
Yeah, you can swipe it and get everything you want, and I got to pay them back now? Yeah, never mind. And then that's a charge off. Then that's a collection. So you started off shooting yourself in the foot, and now you're 35, 40, starting over, which is okay because we specialize in wherever you are, we specialize in getting you back to where you need to be. But for the young people, I would definitely say, don't bite off more than you can chew.
Okay.
Listen, call, have conversations with credit consultants. I would definitely say start off as an authorized user on your parents' account if that's something that they'll allow you to do, because now they can manage your spending, but that also reports to your credit.
To their credit?
Correct. So,
okay.
Example, when my son turned 15, I added him to a couple of my cards.
Okay.
Never gave him the card. You're 15. It's never going to happen. But I knew that at 18, it was going to be time to go to school. You was going to want a car.
Yes.
And what you don't want to do is, like I did, walk into a car dealership and they say, well, you don't have bad credit. You have no credit. So we're not going to give you anything because we don't know. So when they pulled up my son's credit as an 18-year-old, they was like, which one did you say you wanted? Because those were the ones I'm like, make sure these stay low. I'm paying these on time. Just trying to set them up for success.
Yes.
And so that's one of the things that I employ to all of my young adults. Like, set yourself up for success. Don't just look at 18, 19, 20. Remember, 35 going to come. You're going to want a house. You might be expanding your family. And you want to be able to do the things that you need to do. So make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. Make sure you're making all your payments on time. Don't let it go late and pay excessive late fees and that type of stuff. You're pouring money down the drain. Be aware of credit. Understand credit. Because once you are aware of it and you understand it, then you can kind of keep your score where you want it to be.
Okay. Do you teach some sort of, you don't, or you just do the credit consulting? You're really, really good at this. So you don't, you don't do like any type of teaching with like the younger folks or any? I mean, that would be really, really great. To prepare them, yes.
So I'm in the process of doing a credit 101 with 3D credit.
Okay.
I actually was reached out to a local pastor, and he asked that I teach a credit class to his congregation, but it's welcome to all. And he wanted to target his young adult group.
Yes.
To get them started so they'll understand, like, don't mess it up before you get it. So that's actually in the making in April. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that.
Absolutely.
We're going to do a credit 101 with brunch, and And really,
yeah,
really
I want to be included. Let me know.
Absolutely.
Let me know.
Yep.
Okay. So, let me do another quick station ID. You are watching In the Know Live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and other top social media networks. Thank you again, guys, for watching. I really appreciate you. You please like, follow, and subscribe. Comment. We love to hear your comments. Thank you again for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Again, we are here with Lawrence Neely. I mean, he has given us some really, really good information. I don't know why ain't nobody called in today, but that number again is 313-355-6018. But he's really given us some information on how to keep our credit good as a young person, how to improve our credit as we get older. And if we can't figure it out, we can consult him.
Absolutely.
And again, where can we find you at?
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 3D Credit, as well as my website, www.3dcreditconsultants.com.
Okay, cool. How I got this question. This is a throwback question. Okay, so at what age, because I know all in society, people put bills in their kids' name, got the light bill, this bill or that bill. At what age can a person, I know 18 or whatever is the legal limit for whatever, legal age for whatever. But at what age is a person legally putting information like bills and stuff in their kids' name? How does that work?
So I think previously a lot of the companies were a lot more lax on the information that they accepted, as far as setting up accounts.
Yeah.
So it was governed, but it wasn't really strictly governed.
Okay.
So you could call in and I want to set up this cable bill.
Yeah.
My name is Lawrence Neely. I'm really 10, but all I do is change the year. You change the year they born. Back then they were only asking for like the last 4 of your social.
Yeah.
So it was more doable, and it's ironic that you bring that up because my son was a victim of stolen identity.
Really?
Somebody actually set up a DTE account in his name in Detroit, and they ran the bill up to like $4,000.
And how old was your son at the time?
13.
Wow.
Now, where they got his information from, how they did, I have no idea.
So how did you figure out that his identity was stolen?
He was 18 and about to move, and he went to set up utilities, and they said, you have a old bill.
Oh, wow.
So then 3D Credit had to go to work to get it removed.
Okay.
So in 14 days, I did get it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we were able to get that off. They wiped out the bill because clearly he was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
We've never lived, in that area. So
okay. So you had to go through a process of kind of verifying some stuff.
Yeah, from police report to...
You had to make a police report?
Absolutely. It was stolen identity.
Wow. So you have to make a police report for stolen identity. I thought you just make a police report for stolen physical items.
And here's the crazy part. Stolen identity can be more detrimental than them stealing your phone. You got insurance on your phone, you'll go get another phone. But they set up a DTE bill, but who knows if they set up a lease in California, or they, went to Aaron's Rental and rented all this stuff in your name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it can really, really be detrimental. So in a lot of cases, anytime somebody has stolen identity, I always recommend put a fraud alert on your credit report.
Okay.
So that way, if anybody was to go and try to obtain credit in your name, they would literally have to call the credit bureau, say, hey, it's Cassie Jacobs, it's me at the Ford dealership trying to get a car. Then they will release the fraud for them to run your credit and then put it back on.
Really?
Yeah. And you can get temporary, you can do forever fraud alert, some that last for 90 days, some for 6 months.
So wait a minute. Go rewind. So a person can put some sort of alert on their credit so nobody can go in and just do whatever.
Correct.
And if I need to explain it to us.
So basically you can call any of the 3 bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian, and say, hey, I've been a victim of identity theft.
Is there certain criteria, or can anybody do this?
Anybody can do it.
Okay.
You can say, I've been a victim of identity theft. I could potentially be a victim of identity theft, and I want to put a fraud alert on my file.
Okay.
And they'll ask you, how long do you want to put it on there? You'll tell them, you have to give them a specific phone number of yours so that, let's say somebody tried to run your credit. You would have to call from the number that you gave them to identify, because that's one of the things that you're to ensure that it is me.
Gotcha.
I'm calling from this number. Here's the questions that you will have to answer, and then you answer them. They're like, okay, it's you. How long do you want us to remove the fraud alert? 10 minutes, an hour, 3 days, whatever. They'll do it. You'll run the credit for whatever you want. Put it back on.
Got you. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
Now, herein lies one of the issues with that. Let's say you put a fraud alert on your account 15 years ago. What was your phone number 15 years ago?
I said the same number. Right. I'm old school.
Me too. I've had the same number for a very long time. But, I've seen in this day and age where people's phone number change. And now to remember 4 years ago, 3 years ago, when you put this fraud alert on, and what was my phone number?
Yeah.
So then there's another process.
Okay.
To get the fraud alert removed.
Wow. And I know a lot of time they're doing this two-step how you say that word? Authenticity or whatever.
Authenticate.
Yes. They're doing like a two-step. So sometimes they'll call me on my phone or send a text. Then you got to send a code back. Yes. Okay.
But that identifies that you gave me this phone number, so I'm confident that it's you that I'm speaking with.
Okay.
So that's why they'll send because banks do it now. You log into your account, it'll send you a code. It's just safety. It's really protection for you.
Okay. I have one more question. When it comes to the credit card things, okay? Okay, so if I have a credit card, say my Chase or whatever, and, my Chase is set up, it's going to send me alerts if I go over certain, you can put that on your phone or whatever.
Spending limits.
Yeah, spending limits. So if you have a card that is stolen or somebody goes into your information or however they do what they do, but what is the process of getting something like that removed from those type of companies? So, say for example, you get a card, TJ Maxx. You go to TJ Maxx, you get your card, you have it for years, your card is stolen, okay? So you realize your card is stolen, your information is put on the credit bureau, you maxed out now. Is that something that you have to deal with the credit or the card company with, or can you take it to the next step and deal with the credit bureau on stuff like that?
So it's twofold. You can either reach out to the creditor, which would be TJ Maxx, and say, hey, this is fraudulent activity on this card. I need this removed. Typically, bigger companies will say, okay, we're going to remove it. We're going to put the money back on your card, and then we'll investigate.
Yes.
We'll investigate to see if it was actually you. If they deem it was actually you, guess what? It's whatever they reported is going back. If it wasn't you, then they'll go after whoever did this fraudulent activity.
Okay.
Now, then you could do it the other way and go directly to the credit bureau and say, I'm disputing this. This is inaccurate because of fraud. And then what the credit bureau will do, they'll reach out to TJ Maxx and say, hey, our client said that this was fraudulent activity. We need you all to investigate to prove that this was them.
Okay.
Now, that process, the creditor might not necessarily put your money back on the card right away. They're going to wait until the investigation is complete.
Gotcha. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, we got like 1 minute. Right. We got 1 minute. It's been an awesome hour here with Lawrence Neely from 3D Credit. Is there anything last that you want to tell us, or definitely tell us where we can find you again? I want to have you back. You're always welcomed here. Okay. I mean, this is a 2-part show because I still got some questions, okay?
Yeah, anytime I would love to come back.
Okay, wonderful.
The one thing that I would leave the viewers and the listeners with is that no matter what your credit score is, no matter where you are, any score can be repaired.
Okay.
Any score can be repaired. I don't care if you're 18, 50, or 90. It can be repaired. It's patience, it's diligence, and it's us working together to make sure we get you to where you want to be. Because we care about more than just your credit.
Absolutely.
That's why we build this infrastructure for everybody.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching In the Know. Check me out next Friday, 6 p.m., WJZZ Cool TV. Again, I thank you guys for watching us.